Doctor Who, Make America Great Again. President Donald Trump was sitting at his desk in the Oval Office at the White House, probably tweeting and thinking about playing golf. There was a knock on the door. A secretary entered. "Excuse me, Mr. President, but he's here." "He?" the President asked. "The doctor, sir," the secretary said. The President smiled. "Send him in," he said. The secretary went back out and asked the doctor to come in. He did. He and President Trump exchanged formalities. "Doctor." "President Trump." "Take a seat." "Doctor." "Thank you." The doctor sat down. He had only just got the President's message a few hours ago, courtesy of the unit, whilst he was at Broadfell. He smiled, attempting to be courteous. Underneath, he had resentments. So did President Trump. They both knew that this meeting was going to be awkward. Doctor Who, Make America Great Again, written and read by Nick Payne. Outside of the Oval Office, John and Gillian were sitting on a sofa opposite the secretary's desk. They were actually a little bit bored. They sighed as they watched the secretary work. "Bored, sis?" "Yeah, bro." "Same." The secretary looked up. "Well, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to wait whilst your grandfather sees the president," the secretary said crossly, then got back to work. The children looked at each other with boredom. They then got up and went exploring around the White House. The secretary looked up. "Wait, where are you going?" she said, but the kids had wandered off. "Founding idiots." The secretary got up and followed them. Meanwhile, the president was talking to the doctor. "The thing is, doctor, you can't be allowed to continue." The doctor looked at the president with confusion. What do you mean?" The president smiled with an evil grin. "I said you can't be allowed to continue. As in saving the universe." "You don't want me saving the universe anymore?" the doctor asked. The president smiled. "Exactly!" The doctor stared with surprise. "Why?" The president smiled. "You see, you've been making us all look bad." "What?" "I said, doctor, you've been making us all look bad. Now you need to stop, or I'll have to remove you by force." The doctor was taken aback. "You want me to stop saving the universe?" The president sighed. "Oh, God, yes! God, do I have to spell it out for you?" The doctor got up. "Very well, Mr. President, if that is your wish. I shall, however, still travel throughout time and space. You can't stop me doing that. I wish you good day, sir." The president was taken aback by this. The doctor then left. As he exited, the doctor noticed that John, Gillian, and the secretary had gone. "Sightseeing, I guess," he said as he went to find them. Further in the White House, John and Gillian passed a security guard as they headed into a restricted section. "Oi! This area is restricted!" the security guard yelled, but the kids had already gone in. The security guard followed them. Following him was the secretary. John and Gillian then entered a room with green and blue lights. "Where are we?" Gillian asked. "I don't know," John said. At that moment, the security guard entered. "You shouldn't be in here," he told the kids. "What is this room?" Gillian asked, looking at a plan on the wall. She looked at it. Suddenly she realised what was going on, and the fact that the security guard had left his plan on the wall. Whoops, he must be an idiot, she thought. "It appears you have discovered my secret," the security guard said. His eyes glowed and his voice deepened. "For you see, I am Omega!" John stared at him. "Omega? But that's impossible." "No, boy! You see, I am projecting myself from my dimension into this body of this security guard, which I created to hold myself and brainwashing and conditioning the president to get the doctor out of the way so I can take my revenge on the Time Lords!" "Omega! The Time Lords didn't abandon you!" Omega, John and Gillian turned. They saw the secretary had entered the room. "What, woman?" he asked. The secretary came further inside. "Omega, the Time Lords didn't abandon you." "Yes, they did!" "No, they just couldn't rescue you." but you've become legend throughout centuries. Yes! Now I shall take my revenge! Omega boomed. The secretary's face fell. It doesn't have to be about revenge. It could be about so much more than that. You could be an inspiration. Well, more than you already are, she said. Omega looked at her. And who are you to tell me that? The secretary smiled. I'm the doctor. There was a pause. Then John and Gillian yelled, What? But I had the doctor brought here to meet with the president. That was my 5th incarnation, the ultimate doctor. I am 2 incarnations later. The 7th one. You can call me the Sharp-Eye Doctor. Omega stared in shock, then walked back. Suddenly, the ultimate doctor entered the room. Oh, hey boys and girls, how's it going? He then saw Sharp-Eye. Oh, hi Sharp-Eye. How are you? Oh, you know, sharp as a tool, Sharp-Eye said with a slight laugh. The doctor laughed. Omega roared. Roar! Doctors! Soon I shall have a new body in the disguise of a security guard and take my revenge on the Time Lords, and there's nothing you can say or do to stop me. Wait, who is this guy? The ultimate doctor asked. Omega looked at him with anger and disgust. I am! He raised his arms above his head to show his strength, clutching his fists as he did. Omega! Oh, hello, Omega. How's the antimatter world? Omega looked at him, angrier than before. I have escaped it! Not yet, Omega, Gillian said. Omega turned face to Gillian. His eyes, or rather those of the security guard, flared. You insufferable, insultive, insolent girl! Don't you touch her! The ultimate doctor yelled. There must be a way to stop Omega, he thought. John then looked over to where Gillian was. He had an idea. Omega turned his attention to the doctor. This allowed John to get to Gillian and whisper his plan to her. I shall touch who I want, Doctor, Omega said. No, I will destroy you! Suddenly, John and Gillian shoved a filing cabinet into Omega, knocking him over and knocking Omega out of the security guard's body. An empty shell. The body decomposed. As it did, Omega transported back to his domain. No! Then he was gone. Both doctors smiled and said, Well done, to the children. The ultimate doctor then turned to speak to Sharp-Eye. So tell me, why are you here? Me? Well, me. I was aware that the president was acting strangely. More than usual, that is. So I investigated him, Sharp-Eye said. The doctor smiled. Well, it was fun. Indeed, Sharp-Eye said. Well, now I must be off. It was nice seeing you. It was indeed. They shook hands and then Sharp-Eye left. The ultimate doctor turned to the grandchildren. So now that's settled, shall we go? The doctor asked. The grandchildren nodded. The doctor decided to destroy the evidence of Omega's technology, so he used some of it and antimatter to destroy the evidence. Once that was done, the room returned as normal. The trio then headed back down the corridor. Hang on, I have to check up on the president, the doctor said. He went to check if the president was alright. John and Gillian waited for a few minutes. You want to go back to university soon? John asked Gillian. Yep. Meanwhile, the doctor entered the Oval Office. The president looked up. Ah, President Trump. How are you? The doctor asked. Who the hell are you? I'm the doctor. You asked me to come here, remember? The doctor asked. The president paused, then stared blankly. No, he said. The doctor smiled. Then you're fine. I'll be seeing you. He headed towards the door, then quickly turned to look back. Oh, one more thing, he said. Does that mean I can continue saving the universe? He asked. The president continued to look at him blankly. Oh, you go off and save the universe or something. Just don't threaten America. The only people I threaten, sir, is people wishing to cause other people harm. I suggest you think about that, the doctor said. I must be off now. I'll leave you to your, presidenting. Bye. The doctor then left the room. The president continued to stare blankly, then resumed his work. Or rather his tweeting, that is. Meanwhile, the doctor met up with John and Gillian. They heard a TARDIS dematerialisation sound. They raced back to their TARDIS, only to find it was still there. Must have been Sharp-Eye's. The doctor said as he opened the doors. He, John and Gillian then got in. The TARDIS then dematerialised. soon it was no more. The President had heard both TARDISes dematerialise, but he didn't care. It was probably fake news or something anyway. This Doctor could do whatever he wanted, and he, the President of the United States of America, didn't have to worry. In fact, if what this Doctor said was true, he and his country, his entire planet in fact, was under the Doctor's protection. President Trump smiled at this thought, then planned how he would make America great again. The end.